If you're a designer, car enthusiast, this post is for you. I've broken down the details of the dashboard controls and interface of the Tesla Model 3, the first mass-market, touchscreen-only electric car. The car's UI design tells us a great deal about Tesla's long-term strategy, and their eyes toward a driverless future. Here's my Figma source file, and here's a link to the prototype I made. I've been following the saga of the Tesla Model 3 since the beginning. Having test-driven a Model S last year, and fallen in love with how it drives and how keenly in tune Tesla is of the overall customer experience, I found myself hooked on the prospect of an affordable version of that same experience. So, as many of you out there might have done, I watched each announcement of the 3 and peeled back the layers of the web searching for details on how the dang thing would look and feel. The first concepts were cool, but I don't think I really believed that Tesla would ditch the dashboard when the car was ready for consumers. That may be cool now, but the marketing people or consumers won't let that fly. It's just a concept, said I, knowingly slow nodding in wisdom to myself. Well, my nods were wrong. They shipped the damn thing without a dashboard. Or knobs. Or air conditioning vents. Or a handle to open the glove box. Sans buttons. Instead they stuck all of that in a touchscreen mounted smack dab in the middle of the car. They weren't even trying to hide it. The middle screen was basically a giant middle finger to the rest of the car building world, a not so subtle FU to the naysayers, the disbelievers, and the other car companies who insisted on playing it safe. Tesla got rid of the engine, but they'd go as far as it took to shake up a 100-year-old industry. Nothing is sacred. The Model the 3rd of May have 4 wheels and a car-shaped body, but that's where its similarity to most cars end. This thing is different. Tesla's news may have awed me, but I wasn't totally sold. I joined the critical throngs with many a WHAAAA and a few harumphs and pshaws thrown in for good measure. The Model the 3rd of May have 4 wheels and a car-shaped body, but that's where its similarity to most cars end. I wanted to know how Tesla would hide all control for the car behind a pane of glass, so I started scouring the interwebs for any and all information about the UI. It took a while, but I finally came across a project by a designer named Andrew Goodlad who, I think, had recreated the Tesla Model 3 UI from press releases and shaky YouTube videos of the car's interior. He had made a prototype in everything. Why I decided to recreate the UI? His prototype was cool, but the static imagery wasn't quite enough to sat my curiosity. I wanted to analyze the hell out of the components and understand exactly how Tesla designed its crazy new car dashboard, and why. So,
I downloaded JPEGs of all of the screens using CSS Peeper.
And then I pasted them into Figma. And then, without a second's hesitation, I started recreating the Tesla Model 3 UI from the images. I made the icons, sampled colors, designed a custom Mapbox view, pieced together Figma components, switches, buttons, everything. It was therapeutic to trace over someone else's work like I used to do when I was a kid with the Sunday comics. If tracing Snoopy and Bugs Bunny taught me how to draw, maybe tracing here would help me think about the difficulty of making a car UI. It was therapeutic to trace over someone else's work like I used to do when I was a kid with the Sunday comics. I do most of my design work in Figma. I've written about why in the past, but basically, it's web-based so I can share it easily with you all. It also enables me to make and prototype interfaces like this really efficiently and easily. Here's a link to my source file if you're into that type of thing.